Thank you, Mary Smith, for playing Just As I Am, Amazing Grace, and the King of Love my shepherd is, whose goodness faileth never. I nothing lack if I am his, and he is mine forever. I am Chaplain Ann Weaver. This past weekend, I was in the Laurel Highlands of Western Pennsylvania for a Kaufman family reunion. We came from Tennessee, Indiana, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, and Virginia. Big bear hugs, corny jokes, storytelling, lively meal conversations, deep sharing, and silly games filled our weekend. On Saturday evening, we watched a video that was made at a Kaufman family reunion about 20 years ago. Our 5 aunts and uncles and our grandmother shared what they had learned about faith and work and values and love. Our grandmother, humbly and somewhat shyly, answered questions about her life and purpose. And then our cousin filmed the whole 5 generations of Kaufmans up on the hillside for the Saturday evening bonfire. Seeing all those children, nieces, nephews, cousins' children, my own children, my deceased aunts and uncles and grandmother, I just welled up with tears, and I just longed for that time. How could I go back to that time? Well, you know the answer. We can't. And I wondered, how is life going by so fast? And am I treasuring these times, these people enough? And then on Sunday morning at our family reunion, we remembered our cousin Chuck, who died at the age of 70 last year. We laughed and we cried together as we reflected on his values, passions, and even his foibles. Chuck was uniquely designed, and none of us was a carbon copy of him. And in fact, some of us in the room even struggled to find much in common with him. And yet we loved him. And when we finished giving thanks for his life, we turned the focus back on ourselves. What did we learn from this Kaufman family? And how am I carrying on this Kaufman legacy? I was astounded at the depth of the sharing among us. We named that we want to walk in the footsteps of Jesus, just as our other relatives had for generations. We also named that we have chosen to follow Jesus in very different ways. We are liberal and conservative. We go to large non-denominational churches and tiny rural churches. We watch Fox News and CNN. And we decided that despite our huge differences, the most important thing to us is to love the Lord our God with all our heart, soul, mind, and strength, and to love each other as we love ourselves, no matter what. Welcoming and accepting each other emerged as the highest commitment in our family. I thought about the parable of the prodigal son found in Luke 15:11-32. As you might remember, the younger son tells his father that he wants his portion of the inheritance, and his father gave it to him. And the younger son went away and wasted his wealth through extravagant living. And when he used up his money, he got a job feeding pigs. Eventually, he came to his senses, he humbled himself, and he went back home to his father. And then the focus of the story changes from the prodigal son to the welcoming father and the resistant, resentful brother. Verses 20-32 reads, "While he was still a long way off, his father saw him and was moved with compassion. His father ran to him, hugged him, and kissed him. Then the son said, 'Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I no longer deserve to be called your son.' But the father said to his servants, 'Quickly, bring out the best robe and put it on him. Put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. Fetch the fattened calf and slaughter it. We must celebrate with feasting, because this son of mine was dead and has come back to life. He was lost and is found.' And they began to celebrate. Now his older son was in the field. Coming in from the field, he approached the house and he heard music and dancing. And he called one of the servants and asked, 'What is going on?' The servant replied, 'Your brother arrived, and your father has slaughtered the fattened calf because he received his son back safe and sound.' Then the older son was furious and didn't want to enter in. But his father came out and he begged his son. He answered his father, 'Look, I've served you all these years, and I never disobeyed any of your instructions. Yet you've never given me as much as a young goat so that I could celebrate with my friends. But when this son of yours returned after gobbling up your estate on prostitutes, you slaughtered the fattened calf for him.' Then his father said, 'Son, you are always with me, and everything I have is yours. But we had to celebrate and be glad because this brother of yours was dead and is now alive. He was lost and is found.'" Ah, family dynamics. We have them too, don't we? Confusing and difficult relationships. Well, I want to invite you to picture yourself, and perhaps you would like to journal about this. Think about these three main characters in the parable. For I think we might be able to find ourselves maybe in each character. Number one, when have I been like this prodigal son? When did I choose greed and self-centeredness over generosity and community? How have I repented of my selfishness and seen the need for the greater good? Number 2, when have I been like the obedient son? What temptation did I resist? But how have I judged others and refused restoration? And number 3, when have I been like the merciful Father? When did I pray ceaselessly for someone estranged from me? When did I run to meet them and welcome them back? How have I abandoned all judgment and accepted them back into full relationship? This past weekend, I felt like my extended family took the merciful Father posture towards one another, no matter what. And I treasure these people. As Mary plays 2 songs, softly and tenderly Jesus is calling, as well as there's a wideness in God's mercy, allow Jesus to talk to you about this parable, about your family, about this community. What can we learn from the prodigal son, the obedient yet resistant brother, and the tender, merciful, welcoming Father?